Hey guys, I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a brand new ARC reading vlog for you guys. So this week I'm reading 3 arcs, 2 of which coming out in August, 1 of which is coming out in the very beginning of September. First of those is going to be Faithless Hawk by Magaret Owen. This is the sequel to The Merciful Crow, which is one of my top 2 books of 2019. This follows Fi, and she is part of the Crow caste. In this world, all the different people are sorted into different castes depending on their magical abilities, and the Crow caste are considered the lowest of the low, whereas the Phoenix caste is the highest, which is the kings, queens, and princes. Like I said, Fi is part of the Crow caste. She is in a certain faction of the crows and has her own crow chief. One day they end up taking in the crown prince and his bodyguard after they have faked their deaths from the step queen, who is trying to kill the crown prince to become queen sovereign and get rid of the crow caste. Like I said, I adored book 1, so I'm super excited for this. It's one of my most anticipated sequels of this year, and fingers crossed. The second book I have is Where Dreams Ascend by Janella. This comes out at the end of August, and it is Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge. That is all I know about it and kind of all I want to know about it going into it. And then the last book I'm reading this week is Not Your Love Story by Sonia Hartel, and this follows a social media influencer in the Midwest. She ends up being involved in a meet cute that goes viral, and she's not the hugest fan of how this viral sensation is going, but the guy who is in the meet cute is very adamant about having his 15 minutes of fame. So it's kind of about how he wants to make their relationship kind of last so that he can stay famous. I'm very interested to see how this goes. It's quite a short book, and this comes out on September 1st. So yes, these are the 3 books I have for this week. I'm going to be starting with this one, and then we'll see where it goes from there. It is currently Saturday night. So today I started Faithless Hawk. I am 100 and some pages in, so I'm on chapter 8 currently, and it's been really nice getting back into this world. Like I said before, I was really hesitant starting this because Merciful Crow was one of my favorite books last year, and it's also been around about a year since I've been in this world because I haven't reread it, so I was a little bit worried. It did take me like a really quick moment to remember some of the names of like who was who in relations, but I quickly like caught right back on, and I feel like I can already tell that Magaret Owen has improved in her writing style. With this, it's starting off great right off the bat, and I mean, our romance in the first book is still in this. It's going to be hard to talk about this without spoiling anything from the first book, so I'm going to try and do my best. It's interesting to see how Fi is at the moment because she's kind of changed and she's having to take on a new role in this second book, and she's very much struggling with it, and in a sense also struggling with her own identity in this second book. So it's interesting seeing that change for her. But once again, I'm really loving the world. We're definitely in different areas than we were in the first book, which is kind of cool, and I'm excited to see how this keeps on going because there's a lot of betrayal coming on. But it's kind of cool because all 3 of our characters from the first book are now reunited, which is really nice because they were apart at the beginning of this book, which is very common for a second book that the cast has split up and then comes back together, and it's really nice to see them because I just love the 3 of them together. I am intrigued to see how much growth we're going to see with everyone because Jasimir grew a lot towards the end of the first book, but I hope that we see him continuing to grow, and I feel like in this book, Zelda! And I feel like in this book we're going to see a lot more of Fi's growth because even though she did begin to grow in the first book, she still has a long way to go, especially with, as I said, her new role in the sequel. So I think that I really hope that things go really well. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say, and I'll probably update you guys when I'm a lot further through, just to kind of give you my emotions, but obviously I'm not going to be able to really, you know, say anything. But Yes, exciting. Bye. Hey, so I realized I hadn't like updated you guys in a hot second. So I thought I would just quickly jump on here to give you guys a little update. I mean, it's still only Monday, but regardless, I read a lot today because I was in a bit of a depression, but it's fine. Just smooth that over, guys. Yeah, so the lighting's probably not great because I'm just, you know, using the light in my room because it's like what, 8 o'clock? 8:30 in the night time. Anyway, I'm on chapter 23, so I'm on 300 pages in. I only have like less than 100 pages left to go. Oh, and I'm really loving it. It is living up to all my expectations. I'm so glad. I'm so annoyed at like one thing. So we'll see how it goes. There have been some things I kind of called, but I'm still really intrigued to see how everything's gonna play out. Once again, I hold this like it's a child to me. I will tell you guys though, my favorite chapter title. So it's chapter 22 and the title is Deputy Cat Master. Which will make sense once you read it. I have been tabbing this a little bit. I never tabbed The Merciful Crow because that was back when I wasn't really tabbing that much, especially not arcs. The humor in this is great. Also, once again, there is a lot of representation in this. Prince Jasmine is in fact gay, and like that does come up again in this book, and a lot of different things, a lot of different gay characters going on. We love that. We're definitely seeing a lot more of the different castes and a lot more of Fire's magic in this one, which is really cool. And we're also learning a lot more about the Crow legacy, which is really interesting because there is a whole fact of like, oh, they don't have a birthright, and like, what does that mean? So you're kind of learning a lot more about that now. Yes, I'm going to go back to reading, finish this, and then I'll let you guys know. I'm like a little bit scared. Okay, bye. Hey, so I don't know what time it is because I was on my phone and then it died. So that's when I was like, I should probably film this clip now. So, finished Faithless Hawk. I finished it a little bit ago and I decided to give it, okay, so on Goodreads I gave it 5 stars. And it's interesting because when I compare it to the first book, there's like differences as to why I loved each of them. The first book, I loved it because of like a lot of different things, but the romance in it was just one of my favorites. And in this one, it's definitely not as prominent. Like it's still there, but for reasons it's not. What I loved about this one was like how much more magic there was in it and how much more backstory. So I loved them for different reasons, which kind of makes sense because, you know, sequels are not going to be the same book. That would make no sense. I did really love it. I think that it ended in a really nice way. Everything kind of, I wouldn't say like it wrapped up neatly, but it concluded in a way that was satisfying for me as a reader and as someone who loves this series. I didn't cry at all during this, and I did squeal. I did squeal a couple times, so we do have that. So I really did enjoy it. I think that people who also love the first book will be very satisfied with the sequel and really excited for it. I'm really happy, and like, oh my god, there were some things that were happening and I was like, oh my god, please don't let this be a thing, and like, oh my god, and then things like, it was a really good ending. And I'm really glad that this didn't have any of the tropes that I dislike in it, because I don't know, I've been seeing a certain trope a lot recently in books and it's not one that I like, so it's nice that I didn't see it in this book, so that was a plus. I'm gonna like try and sit tomorrow and like figure out exactly how I want to write my review for this, because I have a lot of fun writing reviews for sequels and stuff, but it's always interesting to see how they go. Moving on to my next book for this, it is going to be ɪᴏsᴛᴏᴅᴅᴇᴅ by Janella. How many pages is this? 447. Oh, this is book 1. Oh, is this like a duology? Trilogy? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll find out. it is Tuesday night at the moment, and I've been reading this today. It's been difficult to get into. It's finally starting to pick up now. I'm about a quarter of the way through the book. I'm 100 pages in. I just want to tell you guys pretty much what this is about because I kind of went into it not knowing much. People in this world either have no magic, they are born with magic, which is very rare, or they acquire magic. Kalia is a born magician. She has immense power, and she has kind of fostered her magic with Jack, who is the young master of Hellfire House. But Kalia has been wanting to kind of break out from Hellfire House. She feels very contained in it. There is rumors about this place called ɪṛsᴛᴜ, and it is this sequestered city that is just past the cursed forest. And one day she ends up escaping, and she gets to ɪṛsᴛᴜ because there is a competition going on there that is called the Conquered Circus's Competition Speculator. And it is where magicians can come from all over different lands, and 10 get chosen to compete in a month-long competition. We're following her POV, and then every once in a while we're getting a chapter from Jack's POV. There's definitely something that he is hiding. He's also a very, very powerful magician, like even more than Kalia. Of course, he was the one who was training her, so that makes sense. But he had a lot of secrets, and you could already tell that from the beginning, so I'm interested to see exactly what part he's going to play in this. And then we're also following the POV of a guy called DeMarco. That's his last name. His first name's like Darren, I think. DeMarco is one of the judges for the competition. So he's a born magician, and he used to be the daring DeMarco, but he left the stage 2 years ago at a very young age, and so a lot of people like very look down on him. He hasn't practiced magic in those 2 years. His sister's apparently gone missing, so there's like stuff going on for him too that we don't know about. You can definitely tell that there's a lot of secrets going on here and a lot of things that aren't adding up. But I really love how Kalia kind of has this, she reminds me a little bit of Alessandra from The Shadows Between Us, if you guys have read that by Trisha Levenseller, because she dresses in a very scandalous manner. She wants the attention. She wants them to remember her, and she has no qualms about her magic and using it, and she's doing everything because if she fails, she has nothing left. And so I'm really liking her. The plot's very slow moving is my only issue at the moment, so it's taken a while to get into it, but it seems like there are some shady things going down, and we're just kind of getting to that now. So I'm hoping that it really does pick up, because I can tell like Janella Angelis, her writing style is already very beautiful. I love the way that she's describing everything. It's very lyrical and just pretty. That's kind of it. That's what I wanted to update you guys on with this book, and I'll catch you guys up later. Hey, so I'm just coming on here quickly. I'm not done with the book yet, but my dad just came back from New York with 2 packages for me, so I want to quickly open them on here to show you guys like what arrived, because I'm really excited for this one, and I can't wait to show you guys like, oh my god, this is so exciting. It is Godstorm by Coco Ma, if you guys didn't know. Book 1 is Shadow Frost, which was probably my favorite book of 2019, and I actually got to beta read this, so I'm really excited that like I had a role in like helping this become itself, and I'm just like so happy to finally have it, and it is utterly beautiful. Then we have this packet from Simon & Schuster, which I actually don't know what this is. Oh, it's a finished copy of, oh whoa, what? Oh my god, The Vanished Queen. Oh, this is so cool. So this is a stunning blend of vivid fantasy and political drama. The Vanished Queen is the timely story of a young resistance fighter working to overthrow a totalitarian ruler's regime of terror and lies. A despotic king, a treasonous plot, a fiery resistance, and a vanished queen. Ooh, so there's this. Oh my god, they kind of go together color-wise too. Look at that. Anyway, so my reason I wanted to come here was to scream about Godstorm, because it's so exciting. Hey, so I finished Where Dreams Descend, and a lot to think about. I just came to the conclusion I'm deciding it is 3 out of 5 stars. I think that it has a lot of potential. It's just, it drags on a lot, and it feels like it's just a setup to what the sequel is going to be. You know, you're supposed to feel like you're constantly kept in the dark and not really understand what's going on in this town. But it got to the point where I was just kind of getting bored not knowing, and the events, like the three like people going missing and like all these like weird calling cards being left and just all this like ominous stuff. I wasn't like, I wanted to know, but I wasn't like desperate to know and like, oh my god, like I put this down for like a day or two before I picked it back up to finish it because I was just like, I think that the shining part of this novel is our main character because she is so badass and so confident in herself. She's really powerful and she knows what she wants and she's like really awesome, but then there are some things going on like when it comes to romance that like makes her very vulnerable, and that's where her difference is, and she tries to deal with everything on her own, and she's very, I don't know, I really loved her as a character, and so I do want to continue on with the series because I love her and because this ends in like a major cliffhanger. Like there's, I don't know, it had so much potential and it is really beautifully written. It's just, I did really enjoy the romance though that happened in this. It is kind of a love triangle, but the main romance we're following this, I thought was a really cute slow burn. I liked how it was done, so that was definitely a positive for this book because I wasn't sure if it was going to be well executed, but I did end up liking it. So I think that if this does interest you, read it. If you're someone who enjoys like very descriptive books, very lyrical novels, this is definitely for you. But because it's written in that way, it does take a while to get through it because there's a lot of filler in that sense. You know, when a book is overly descriptive, it kind of comes off sometimes as filler, but that's fine. And my next read is Not Your Love Story by Sonia Hartel. I think I mentioned this before. So my next read is Not Your Love Story by Sonia Hartel. I'm starting this today. I'm a couple pages into it because I'm doing the Draconathon live show today. But it's about a girl who it's about a girl who lives in a small town and they're not very well off. Her mum got pregnant at 15 and so there's like that much of an age difference between her and her mum, and her name's Macy and she's a YouTuber. She has like 2,500 subscribers and she does like old movie reviews, and she's just saved up money to take her mum for her mum's birthday to a ball game, and when they go to this ball game she ends up sitting next to this guy who's like really hot, and then she spills her drink accidentally on him and it gets on his shirt and he's like, no worries, and he just takes off his shirt and she's like, oh my god, his abs, and they just sit there the entire time. And it's interesting. What ends up happening is there's this lady in the row behind them who's like taking photos the entire time, and then she posts a thread on Twitter about it, and so it completely like just blows up her world, and so she's like suddenly getting all these new subscribers and all these followers and things like that, and it's not positive because people think that they like had a quickie in the baseball female bathrooms, and so her life isn't going great, but his is, and so that's kind of the premise so far of what this is about. It feels very juvenile at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. Bye. Hey guys, so it is now Sunday. Yes, I actually read the entirety of this last night. So it's pitched as YA and it reads YA, but our characters have graduated from high school and there's a graphic sex scene, but it's also a very sad sex scene. Now, I can explain this because it was just basically an extremely poorly written sex scene is what I'm trying to get at. I have not read a worse sex scene ever. Honestly, it's probably the worst one I've ever read in my entire life. There was also a part in this that was a bit of a trigger warning for suicidal ideation, so I didn't want to also warn about that, which I did not see coming, and I was kind of, I was a little bit taken aback by it. There was like a little bit of funniness in this. I think that was the only saving grace of this, was the hilarity of it. Her whole way of like running her YouTube channel and things like that as a YouTuber, there were just things that weren't accurate about it, and I don't No, I didn't really care much for it. I didn't enjoy the writing style. It was mediocre at best. And so I really don't have much to say about it. Oh, that's it. Those are all 3 arcs that I read in the last week. So we had Faithless Hawk, which is a 4.75, but I'm rounding up to a 5 stars. Where Dreams Descend, which was 3 stars, and Not Your Love Story, which is 2.5 stars. Maybe it's more of a 2. I don't know. I feel like 2's a really harsh rating sometimes, so I'm trying to decide if that is a 2-star or not at the moment, so we'll see. But yeah, that's it for this vlog. Let me know if you guys are interested in any of the 3 books that I read, if you have any plans to pick them up. And yes, that is all for this video. If you guys enjoy it, please like button down below if you want to see more of me. Please go to my channel, and until next time, thanks so much guys. Bye!